Guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video I'll be going through my trade targets for round 4 and also discussing how I guess going through the trade targets that I had said for round 3 in that video that did actually really well, and going through and how I actually did pretty well. I mean, I would say 4 hits and 1 miss out of the players. 4 hits and 1 miss, was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, no, so probably 5 hits and 1 miss with the players last week. So before we get into the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into the video. So a little bit different here with this screen, as you can see. Just going through and sorry about the messy handwriting. These were the people that I selected last week for trade targets. And this is probably how it's going to go forward in terms of a lot of videos where I recap like the last week. It will be showing an iPad screen with the what I had written down the previous week, rather than on these flimsy sticky notes or whatever that are in front of me. So as you can see with this one, I went for Priest, and just looking here, and I will show this when we go through the next week. Priest was the second highest scorer, so if I just write down here, second highest. So I think that's a really good indication that, yeah, it was a really good pickup. Smith, Amy Smith went 1 higher than her with 86, so that was still a really, really good selection of Priest, especially in the backline, considering that we had what looks like here about 6 or 7 girls go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 girls go in the 70s at least. And then you also had a lot of 60s, and pretty much my whole defense went in the 60s. So to identify Priest, who was the second highest and one of only 3 to go above 80 or above, is really, really good. Now we move on to the midfielders, and I did go for Bowers, who was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 highest. If I actually go in there and just do it a little bit smaller. And then Whitford was a little bit lower here, going down, I would say probably top 30 or so, top 35. So in that 30 to 40 region. So that was probably my one fail of the week, is Whitford. If I try and readjust that for you and get it out of the way of my camera. There you go. So yeah, Whitford was the one fail of the week. And yeah, that really sucked that she did sort of fail. As if I do that, actually, will that help? Yeah, there you go. So Whitford sort of failed 30 to 40 region. That wasn't the best pick, but I mean, Bowers was 6th highest, so that was fine. And really just showed, I guess, the midfield. There is a massive gap. We had Gardner go 154, Hatchard 133, Marinoff 124, and I sort of wanted to not go for these main girls in Gardner, Hatcher and Marinoff, because I thought they would be mostly owned by people, and I was more trying to pick up that 1.1, 1.2 million person that was going to go big. And I did go a little bit of leeway with Bowers being, I mean, I did select one of the more expensive ones, and I guess you could say Bowers was a fail in saying that I was going to go for one of the more expensive ones and one of the more cheaper ones, and picking Bowers was the worst of the expensive bunch. But I still think Bowers 104 was fine. If you wanted to go anyone in that sort of cheaper range that would have done better, it was probably the best to go for the likes of King or Parker, but Parker probably is injured. And Hanks is the next best, it seems like. But other than that, most of the 1.1 sort of went 80s and 70s, so it wasn't that bad for Whitford, actually. Then we move over to the ruck department, and here's where I really do make my... actually, looking at the midfielders now, I had the settings on, so it had the defenders included, but I still think Whitford's probably 20 to 30 region. Anyway, the rucks, if you look at the ruck department, Moffat was actually second again, so that was a really good pick by me, in my opinion, as I saw this coming, and I think my wild card for the week is Moffat's going to be the number 1 ruck this week. She's going to go huge against West Coast, so she's probably going to be the ruck that I decide to go with for you guys next week for round 4. Then we move into the forwards, And you see here I went for Morrison, and Morrison was 5th highest. And yeah, so that was a really good pick there, in my opinion. Again, I keep on doing this. Let me just see. There we go. We got it there. We got it so that it doesn't overlap. So yeah, Morrison, a really good pick there. And Too Good, I think, is a really good pickup for anyone as well now, given that she's just continue on. Does DFS have their anything out yet for us? Let's just see. CBAs, do they have it out yet? No, they do not. We're on Thursday and they haven't got the info out. That's going to be a struggle, as I want to do a video tonight going through the that'll come out on Friday, going through the, I guess, positions and stuff like that for most teams, and it just doesn't look like we're getting it this week for some reason, which is really, I think, poor. But so at the moment I've got second, 6th, 5th, and Whitford was a fail. And then we go into the rookies, and this is a hard one to necessarily show. If you go 300 to 400, you see Everest here at 69 is probably someone that you could look at next in this week, and that's probably someone that we'll look at. Mullins went 80 against Sydney, so you could look at that as well. She did really, really well. And then 500k, you've got Kennedy as well. 77, did she play? Yeah, she did against the Lions, and 77 is alright. So I don't think Stratton wasn't the best, but she was in top 5, I'd say. So if we go here, top 5. So I think that was a really bumper week for me to get 2 second places for position, a 5th, a top 5 rookie as well. When you get the rookies in the top 5, it seems like you do really, really well. And then the only one that was really, really bad was the Whitford pick, but I think Whitford will do better because that whole Gold Coast versus Collingwood game was really, really low scoring, and she's got Western Bulldogs this week, which should bump her score up. So if we actually go to the fantasy website now, we'll go through and we'll pick our round 4 girls. So if I just scroll down here so I can write it down, round 4. So first off, we've got the defender, and the defenders this week, again, are very, very bunched together. So I think as long as you get a defender that goes 75 plus, if you were going to bring them in, I think that's totally fine. As I was saying with Smith, she went 1 above Priest. Priest has Collingwood. I don't know if that's necessarily a tough matchup. Gunjaga I don't really like too much. Emerson, Sheehan. Kennedy against West Coast could be a good shout, but I think that's almost like a rookie shout, to be honest. Bresnahan, Richardson, Daisy Darcy, I think Daisy Darcy is the one that I think a lot of people will go for, and I think she is the right option. So I'm going to put her down as my pick for this week, and we'll see how she goes. She's ultra consistent. Let's just see if against Western Bulldogs she can do what she did against West Coast and like bump herself up to 80, 82. I just want to see this with the Swans midfield, because Kennedy might float into the potential for, Kennedy's probably going to be that rookie that I look at, given that she's 530k and has the role against West Coast Eagles. So she could be one to look at, I guess. And actually that's given me more thoughts about, can I do some potential upgrades, etc. But I don't think I can, because you're starting to, with 3 players, you're starting to need some things to go and move around, and I just don't think I can. But anyway, so that is the defender. Midfield, we go for 1 expensive and 1 sort of less expensive midfielder. So if we go over here, change it to midfielders, obviously you can go Jazzy Gardner, as she is just smoking the competition away. I do think a good shout this week is actually Prezi. Against Port, 1.372 went, I think, did she go down this week, or did she? Yeah, she went down 44k. So the weekly is there and the season is on the right. If I was to pick one, would I go Jazzy or would I go Bowers? Those two are the sort of ones that I'm throwing up, but I think Prezi is the one that is the one that I'll go for. So I just need to actually look in how to spell her name, because it's I don't usually have to spell it. So Prespakis is the midfielder that I think I'm going to go for on the expensive side. And on the cheaper side, you could look at Swanson, but I think Swanson's performances are just sort of meh. They're not really special. You could look at a. Could you look at any? Do we have any Swans midfielders? So you've got who are playing. Who did we say was playing Western Bulldogs? We said Gold Coast weren't they? Yeah. So you could look at Whitford again. I won't. I won't bore you with that one 2 weeks in a row. Even though I do like her. You could go for a Rowbottom, but I think that's a really expensive one. Sydney. Hurley, there's not really an expensive midfielder to be honest, and Ham is out, so I wouldn't be going for her. Ham's actually going to be really good next season if she can if she's priced at whatever she's priced at, given that she's going to get a massive discount for not playing too many games. Any other weak sides? You could look at Geelong midfielders. Geelong, and I've already picked Prespakis as well. Is there any other weak sides that I can think of? You could look at. Could you look at Hatchard or something like that? It's really tough to actually pick a because I'm trying to pick a midfielder based on matchup, and there's not really a good matchup to be honest. As Brizzy and North play each other. Hanks plays North. Hanks plays Hawthorn. That could be a matchup to actually look at. If you wanted to go sort of out there. This is going to be a tough one to actually pick. Lambert was pretty good. Miller was sort of getting down to the girls that aren't really that valuable, to be honest. If I was to pick one to go for, that's sort of out of the blue, I guess, a little bit, I think I'd go for... how's Mia King doing? No, Hanks is 61, 95, 90, 99. Parker, if she plays what she put up, no, don't really like that either. This one's tough. I think I would go actually Ali Anderson. I think Anderson is the one to go for, even though she's got the tough matchup. She showed against that she can go 90 against anyone, and I think she's pretty good. Yes, a little bit on the expensive side, getting towards that like a more expensive midfielder, but I still think she is of value and will showcase that. Then we go to the ruck department, and I'm going to go back to back here because I just think this is valuable right here. Moffat against West Coast. West Coast, I think, only had 16 hitouts maybe the whole time. Sorry, I was just writing her name down on the iPad here. They had, I think, 16 hitouts of West Coast Eagles, and Moffat herself against a Brisbane Lions outfit here. If we look down at Brisbane, where is Hickey? Hickey had 14. I think they had another girl go and get 8 or 9 or so. Moffat's winning, I think, something like, if we actually look at this, I think it will show. Does this show ruck contests? Ruck contests. Swans here. Hit out percentage 55%. That is ridiculous. Why does that have round 3 but CBAs are not up? That is really weird that CBAs are not up unless they've just randomly updated in the time that I didn't. Here we go. They finally updated. So that's really good. I will do that video tonight going through the players, etc., going through the really high ones, etc., because that'll really inform. And Kennedy 18%. Ooh, that's kind of tough, but I still think there's value there. I just want to check what was Stratton. Stratton was 42, so there is sort of a role there, but not necessarily. And Stratton does play Melbourne, so that would be a tough game for her. But anyway, so yeah, I think Moffat will absolutely dominate. If we look at the West Coast Eagles side, she was hidden out at 55%. Look here. We said ruck contests. West Coast Eagles, 44% for Larky, but she wasn't playing. I don't know. Lakay, I don't know. And 25%, 18, 20. You just see the gap here. And even if you look at it here, one hit out for Gibson, and I think it was in this game here. You've got 3 hit outs for Franklin from, what is that? It says here, I'm just kind of getting confused here. 123 ruck contest, but it says, that must be percentage. Yeah, that's percentage, isn't it? Okay, that makes sense. So it's percentage on here, obviously, as you can see down here, just getting myself a little bit confused. And then it's totals over here and total over here. So, and hit out percentage. And you just see if Lakay doesn't play, that's going to be horrific. Because if you also look at Brisbane, and she got, what was it, it was something, you see Brisbane even Hickey's at 43%. I think that was a lot higher before the Swans matchup. And you just look at that and you're just thinking Moffat's going to go huge here. And then we move on to the forward department. Trying to make this video not as long. Forward-wise, just looking matchups. If we move on to forwards, Too Good has a good matchup. Skepper has a decent matchup. Morrison, again, you could go back-to-back with her. But I know this is expensive as hell. But Gardner is a must against West Coast Eagles. I know that is... she's really expensive, but given look at the forwards, you could go Malloy, but I think Malloy's more hit or miss. Gardner's going to rack, I think, somewhere in the mid-30s at least disposal wise, so I think Gardner is the choice there. There we go. So I think Gardner, yes, I'm going a little bit Sydney heavy with two of the Sydney siders there, but they're playing West Coast. They should smoke West Coast, to be honest. And I think you'll see Gardner, Malloy, Moffat do really, really well. And then we go to rookies. And if we look at 300k, you could go Everest against Melbourne. That would be tough, but she's getting the position. It should be down in the defence a lot. Austin, let's just see, what was Austin's role? Let me just see, because CBAs, Austin, I don't know whether she got CBAs or not. Austin, that was 32. Austin wasn't in the CBAs. Okay, that's telling. Bush, Smith, what was Smith? Because a lot of these, oopsie, didn't mean to do that. A lot of these girls that are down below in the 300k, you're just looking for a role. Smith, was she anywhere around, was it Smith? Yeah, it was Smith, and she's nowhere to be seen. Krieg as well. I'm just looking through here, and I'm just looking for the best role, because if Krieg is on here, doesn't look like it as at all. Bauer's 100% CBAs. That's crazy. Yeah, she's definitely a girl that you can look to target. And what was Gardner's CBAs? Because I know it's going to be ridiculously high, but what was Gardner? Gardner 91. There were roles there. Obviously. 400Ks, is there anyone? Mullins. Let's look at Mullins CBAs. Sorry that this is dragging on a little bit long. I'm just trying to find that right person. Mullins, 5% CBAs. Looks like she's playing a wing role. If we look at here, let's see, what role is she playing? As she's probably... Forward pocket isn't the greatest, not going to lie. She got 5 tackles, 25 touches. Brisbane are playing North. I don't like that this week. Gorham for Western Bulldogs. Let's just look at Gorham for Western Bulldogs. Please give me someone that's actually playing in the on the field. Oh, nope. Gorham is not there. Lally as a forward. Fitzpatrick, Brazel. Let's look at the 500Ks, because I think you'll find something. Kennedy, Richardson. What was her role? I think hers is down back as well, just from memory. Just trying to find this this role that someone's going to have a role here that is really, really... Wardlaw. Let's check Wardlaw. What was Wardlaw? I'm pretty sure... Was Wardlaw in the ruck? Let's just see. St Kilda. Was Wardlaw in the ruck, or was she... Yeah, she's in the ruck in 70 against... And then plays Collingwood. What was her ruck time? 26%. And Priest 79%. So Priest is there or thereabouts. If I was to choose someone, I think I'd just go with since Mullins has such a high low break even, I think I would just go Mullins, because that 80 is going to be so hot. She's going to be at the point where she pretty much gains cash anyway, because look at that. She's on, if I make the screen a little bit bigger, 30, 30, 80. And she was slowly, I think, she was actually losing cash, but I think the 30s will sort of help her to gain a little bit of cash here, and she'll now that she's got it full, etc., I think she'll be completely fine, to be honest. And she's got North. Her role might not be the best, but I think just that 80 will help her just boost up, and you might only need 1 or 2 weeks with her, and she'll do well. So I think Mullins is the one. This one is a little bit out of, is going to be the hardest one to predict. Anyway, that is pretty much the video there. Glad to see that DFS has finally actually gotten the that ready, and we've seen that there. But yeah, that is the video. If I go back to the main screen, hopefully you guys actually, it'll be better for you that I have it up on the iPad so that you can actually see when I do my stuff in regards to players. It'll be a lot cleaner and a lot easier to see. And I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be the two tips videos that will come up, I think, later today. So I'll see you guys in those videos. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.